mountain sun. I'm Kiederen, and let's see, we're just doing the Lamakan Desert, and then some after, let's see, trying to remember what all comes after that. Oop. There we go. Alright. So jumping right in here. Last time we did the mines, and we did the mogul forest. The forests we had to in the Furchin Falls cave too, the trial where we earned the orb that teaches the synergy called force, and that bestows this spell for the field. It can't be used in combat at all, and basically just forms your power together and punches stuff with your mind. It's a pretty important spell, though. It's used throughout the game here and there, mostly for extra stuff from here on out. However, there was something earlier on in the mines that technically required it, and there's actually a cutscene substitute if you had missed it, because the Orb of Force is entirely missable, as is all of the subplot that comes afterwards, clearing out I think they call it Silk Road, because the town right after the forest is a very thinly veiled Chinese cultural reference. And by a cultural reference, I mean stereotypes. They have a kung fu dojo and everything. Anyway, got to the Lama Temple, Lama, not like the animal, where Ivan inherited the power of reveal, which will be very important for this dungeon specifically. Which is supposed to, as the name suggests, reveal hidden truths. Let me actually map this to a shortcut because I'll be using it a lot. And so we use that power to get through this desert, because our adversaries, Taurus, Minardi, and Felix, are on the other side. So you might notice there's a meter on the left side of the screen that isn't there normally. That is some kind of temperature heat gauge, and it only increases when you walk on the smooth sands around here, as you see. It goes up slowly, not so slowly there. Your party will also interrupt periodically just to mess with you, like that. And see these circle of rocks? Use reveal here to check whether or not that's an oasis where we cool off. And that's the basic mechanic behind this area, and there are encounters as well. That's right, I had changed up my Jin last time to give Isaac fire stuff. I have to switch it back. I should actually split up my water Jin, because I believe you got a bit of a mix of things here. Like the orcs there are weak to wind, but there are other enemies that will be weak to water. This might be a good time to show off Cutting Edge. I like that spell. do a little bit of... Be good to get the 2 buffing Jin off of the slowest member of the party. He can keep fever. But so here we have an interesting case of Garrett and Isaac have the same class here because they both have their class altered by 2 water gene. But their Psynergy is represented a little differently because their base element is still reflected in their Psynergy set. So Isaac has Thorn and Briar, whereas Garrett has Blast and Mad Blast, though they share Cutting Edge, Apply Well, and Cure Poison. Interestingly, Garrett also has Guard and Protect, and Isaac does not. Garrett does naturally learn Guard and Protect in his base class, so I wonder if that might be a carry through, but I'm mostly doing this because I want that Cutting Edge spell, which is like Ragnarok and Heatwave has a attack modifier, and it makes it very strong against single targets, which there will be a bunch of. This is a kind of a benchmark heal, in case you missed it. Now, if that meter maxes out, the whole party takes a chunk of damage. It's not fatal. It'll bring you down to 1 health at most if you take it over and over again, much like poison damage. But it won't kill. Alright, so we changed up Mia's Synergy list as well. It's a good question. They are weirdly fashionable. So this is a very good weapon. I'm actually gonna equip that right now. Unfortunately, I'm getting caught a little bit in this cycle of, well, Garrett's got the unique weapon, so Isaac, I want to buy the new weapon for Isaac, but since it's just a normal shop weapon, it doesn't have a unique unleash. But when I get a new weapon, then Isaac's weapon is the more up-to-date one, so Garrett needs the power boost more, and then Garrett's the one that still keeps the unique effect. I think there was a Oasis right over here. I will probably get heat damage at least once or so. So these are kind of fake oases, and they're actually decent experience, so I'm gonna kill a bunch of them, because they're otherwise fairly easy enemies. I believe this is the first case of a single target enemy that can take multiple actions per turn, though, which will happen more later. Yeah, that cutting edge getting some good damage there. It's also pretty cheap, so it's good to spam. Unfortunately, killing those doesn't reduce your heat level either, since you're fighting out in the sand anyway. As expected of deserts, there is a bunch of treasure out and around. I'm not going to take the time to actually seek it all out, because I don't have what's memorized what's where. But I may go back after a stream or something, and search a little more diligently. But I'll swing around a bit. The other thing that makes this decent grinding, there's a wind genie there that I have to make sure I was aiming for that. Is that these antlions will respawn as soon as you recast reveal. There we go. I can get it down to 1 turn. Alright. Save state here because it's faster than reloading or leaving the area and coming back in, because this is not a... Oh, no, that's right. Since it's the desert, the Wind Genie wants to get out of here as soon as possible, so he'll come along with me without a fight. But yeah, you saw the ant lion reappeared. Oh, I'm probably gonna take damage. There it is. So, looks like about 25%. So, enough to... Oops. Some lucky pepper. Boosts luck, which is an interesting stat. Don't think it was this game. I think it was a different one where the luck stat was like constantly fluctuating. I think I generally dump all of my luck on one character, and I think I usually give it all to Mia. But I'm not 100% sure how it functions otherwise. So Storm Ray is actually still doing really good damage against a lot of these enemies. Yeah, it can definitely be a pain the first time through. The heat meter does a very good job of putting pressure on the player mentally. Like, you don't want to get that to maxed out and take that damage and so on, so you kind of want to rush through and get through the clear, and your party members constantly complaining doesn't help things either. And I think as annoying as it was, it's also effective for kind of creating this environment that's supposed to be very strenuous on the characters, and it's unpleasant to be in general, which deserts usually are. So that was not a oasis. Want to find another one. There's one. I'll make a quick pass over here. I did not know you could step over that. I think there's a chest down here as well. Oops. I did want to target the salamander. Kill both of them? Yeah. Cool. Nope, nothing down there. I want to maybe be a little more conservative here since I'm still in the second area. That looks like something down there. Just another oasis, which is good. I needed one of those. There we are. Potion. Those are good. I think I'm back to the start of the area, so I'm gonna just head for the exit from here. Got Froth Sphere here to target everything. That's nice, except the target didn't have any Psynergy, so there was nothing to steal. Yeah. There was one over. Nope, I'm not gonna make it. So close. Oh yeah, everyone hurts now. I did lose my I did lose Wish when I took the 4 water gene off of Mia, so but I can still use Spritz to the same effect. Just have to make sure Garrett actually has an opportunity to act this turn. And that didn't happen. Alright, well, I've been sitting on herbs that I haven't really been using much, so I can go ahead and just use these. Alright, well, I don't need that oasis anymore, so I guess... Nope. There was a chest here that I missed. Oh boy, money. Which I don't think I really need anymore. I was noticing that money was a problem for longer than it usually is for me. But yeah, I'm at 12,000 coins. I'm doing fairly well there. Actually, since that keeps, I know there's a oasis down here. Just clear that for the next area. Which is a break from the open deserts. Now you've got sand waterfalls, or sand falls, which do increase your heat meter a little bit in them when you're in them. There's nothing down there. Or is there? Nope, there's nothing down there. Yep. Seemingly dead ends. Uh, it's been a while since you tuned in, I think, hasn't it? Um, the short version, I think we've basically been continuing to chase Satoris and Minardi, and who have Felix and Jenna and Kraden captive. Felix is kind of question mark at this point. We're not sure if he's on their side or on your side, but we passed through two forests, and then last time we did a temple. It was a test from one of these monks. We have to pass a trial, and it granted us the force synergy. And then after that, we did another evil forest, and let's see. Actually, I think there's a treasure down here. Other evil forest, which led us to Chinatown. One of these is a oasis. There we go. And Chinatown had its own subplot. Beat up this antlion, which was linked to the Alton Mines, which was another. These are all kind of dungeons, but the Alton Mine gave us the lift synergy as well as opened the path forward, since there was a rock slide that had blocked the primary road. So we actually got around the rock slide by going through the mines, but they cleared up the rock slide after we finished because, you know, that's how RPG progression works. Yeah, with all the party members complaining, but the silent protagonist has no choice in that matter. Fortunately, this is the end. This is the last section, and I happen to know that there is a boss right behind this sandfall, so I'm healing up. Might as well use the mint. It's an agility boost. Yeah, Mia does have the most here. I guess that's... Usually it's the Wind Jin that increase the agility, but I think some of the Earth ones do too. Part of why Isaac is generally the second fastest on the team. But since I have all of my Jin mixed around for this section, that's not the case anymore. I'll give it to Isaac. Otherwise, I think I'm alright here. So, this area was a lot shorter. Well, it's a mini section that kind of introduces you to the mechanic, the heat mechanic, and then there's the big area where you really have to kind of explore, and then there's this area. So I kind of remembered it being a bit bigger, but at the same time, it does also kind of make sense that it's on the smaller side, since it is kind of a stressful mechanic for the player, so they're trying to limit how much you have to actually deal with. And yeah, the Manticore, the creepy human face on a lion chicken body with wings and a scorpion tail, and yeah. I'm killing it with water. It's resistant to fire, I think. I wasn't paying attention to the punctuation. Storm Ray, neutral. Yeah, he's weak to water. I'm basically just going to be bludgeoning him with cutting edge every turn, because that is the most damage I can put out through that, and even increase it by boosting someone's attack. So there's actually two types of poison. There's purple poison and red poison. The purple is the regular and red is deadly poison, and one just does much more damage than the other per turn. I think deadly poison might also escalate. It might actually get worse over time. So yeah, I need healing here. I might just dispel the curse. So those flames are the number of turns before he gets knocked out. Which he was already pretty close to death as it was. Good thing that Synergy can't miss. I'm gonna try this. I'm not really expecting it to work, but actually I need to heal Garrett, and Mia needs to heal herself. Alright, you're actually good to defend. You don't desperately need healing. You should be getting low. There we go. And through here should be the world map. There we go. So, got the desert done. Cleared out quickly. I think there's a map Jin up here. Is it an earth one? I want to say. Vine? Maybe I'm remembering that wrong. Try for a few battles here. Maybe it's up further. Nope, I can't go up any further. I have noticed habitually when there's only 2 enemies, I don't really have too much of a problem just using regular attacks and doing that alternating target pattern. But when it gets above 3, I tend to prefer starting to throw out Psynergy so that I can try to kill them all in one turn. Should be using Mia. Mia's got more Psynergy to go around. Do one more battle, and if I don't find him, I'll look elsewhere. Yeah. Nope, no good. Alright. Well, it's their funeral. Should probably switch my Jin back to the standard formation now that nothing is particularly favored. That was overkill. That didn't kill. So since I need an inn, I'm gonna come over here to Calais. Here we are. Alright, so I'll sleep at the inn first and foremost. I'm gonna... Oh. I can start this. So there's a... Basically from here, we're going to need to actually cross a small sea, and we're actually going to take a boat to do that. And these are actually passengers that are going to be on that boat. So... Their dialogue kind of gives a sense for what we're going to next. The city of Tolby and the tournament of Colosso. Right, there's a bunch of other stuff to get here. I believe there's a fire genie down here. Yeah, though I think Colosso's at least reasonably interesting. Not sure I've played one that's quite like it. Since we're in town, we don't have to fight it. There's more to the tournament than just fighting. You can go down here, but I believe it's gated off. Yeah. So I can't get to any of that or anything else in here until later. Yeah. What's a little bit further down? Also gated off. Well, I got what I came here for mostly. Speaking of Jean, should... So now that I have four Mercury Gene, I also can do the fourth tier summon of that, which is interesting, to say the least. Most of them are, but so those sparkles on that pots were something I mentioned last time with one of the perks of reveal. Is it can show those hidden items that you kind of have to trial and error for otherwise. Let's see. Do need to do a bit of shopping. See, I remember the Frost Wand being pretty good. And I like giving it to Mia, because water and watery. It's the reason I gave her the lifting gem as well. For whatever reason, it's classified as a water type Psynergy. Don't think any of these are any good. Yeah, the rest of these are all old stuff that I sold back. The Great Axe is slightly better here, but not enough that I'm gonna invest in. So actually not much to do on the weapon side of things, which does give me plenty of coins to work with for armor though, which is nice. And clear up some inventory space as well. I pretty much never use smoke bombs. Let's not accidentally sell the Mars Star, not that it will let you. Iron Shield, Blade. Antidote's kind of redundant on you as well. Alright, so Chainmail's pretty good. You can get Garrett out of those Adept's clothes. It's not enough of a boost to be worth giving to Isaac though. It's only 4, and Synergy Armor still has a good effect. It's only 4, that's 9. So that's another good one. Iron Shield I already have. Gauntlets should be an upgrade though, but not enough, not worth enough. These are only increases of 2 as well. This is a bit more of a jump. Actually, I should just go to the mail cap instead, because that's even better. And alright, so anything special? Nope. Oh, that was nice and easy. Okay, so let's go see the Lord. This is more story, backstory, and just story development for Ivan. Which I'll just let it play out. But are you? Well, we did just pass through a desert. Oh, sure. That doesn't sound good. I don't wanna. I wanna eavesdrop on this too. It's kind of our thing. There's not much to tell. We saw them go north. End of story. And we get a off-screen or semi-off-screen explanation where they didn't want to have to actually write the dialogue. This is a recap of information about Loompa that we first heard from the thieves in Vault, way back when we first met Ivan. But since it's been a while, it's kind of becoming relevant again. It's nice that they go over it in case you had forgotten. I do think it's a bit of a pity that Mia's character arc starts and ends at the Mercury Lighthouse. She is my favorite design of the protagonists, so wish we'd see more of her. She doesn't go away or anything, but she just kind of takes a back seat for the rest of the game. Well, we can. Maybe if you stopped saying dumb stuff all the time, that we would actually be able to commiserate more. Well, she does have a point. To be fair, though, the main reason he didn't return from Vault was because the bridge was out until now, conveniently. If you know something, why hide it? Right? I imagine what we have. In the sequel to this game, you actually do explore pretty much the entire world, even though you're locked to a fairly linear path in this game. Southwestern edge of the world. I suppose I'm not sure whether or not they mean the southwestern edge of the continent or the actual world, because I believe there is an island out there, but I don't think it was inhabited. Oh wait, actually, I think I do know that. I think it's Contigo, maybe? I don't remember if that's the name of the town or not, but you do actually visit there. That's probably what they're thinking of. But yeah. Doubloons. Golden doubloons. Sorry, Mia, I don't know of any other kinds of doubloons. Oh yeah, there are random soldiers still in the room. And that's something that's not going to pay off until the next game as well. It's stuff like this and the way it kind of pieces all together that really makes me convinced that this game and the the sequel, The Lost Age, were really planned and were originally meant to be one game, but it ended up being too big, either commercially or just from a hardware perspective, to fit all onto one cartridge. Maybe a timing issue. So they had to release Golden Sun by itself in this particular arc, and then The Lost Age later. I think it was 3-4 years later. I think it was like a 2001 for this one, and excuse me, I want to say like a 2004 release for The Lost Age. You can't tell, or you just don't know, because if you know more, then you should probably tell us. It's not doing anyone any good to withhold that information, but typical JRPG stuff. Yeah, sure. Actually, I'm kind of curious what saying no there would have done. Yeah, it's. I mean, it's kind of doing the. I guess it's technically doing the writer's favors. But at the same time, when people call them out for doing that, then it's not doing them favors. I think there's treasure in here, but I don't remember exactly where. Oh, yeah, that's where I was, just on the other side. Actually, I think I might be thinking of Tolby Castle. Oh, that's a name drop that I'm not sure has really come up yet, but Angara is the name of the continent that we're on. Oh, there we are. It's a water jacket? Yeah. I think there was up here too. I think this is the bedroom. Yep. Hammett and Lanaya? Was it? Layana. Must not be that close if they're sleeping in separate beds. Alright, so that's done. I think we can set the tour. Yeah, there we go. Get the tour guide, the tour group on their way. Oh hey, someone with a portrait. Hey, look, another person with a portrait. I did always like how much they were able to do with very limited sprite work, how much action that they able to suggest with the scope of movement that was capable. It was possible from them. I like that the chef character still has a pan and is flipping pancakes or omelets or something. It's like they just took a generic NPC and didn't change anything else about them. Actually, that's exactly what they did. Alright. Don't think there's anything else to do in town. Alright, so we got a bit of non-linearity options here, which is nice. Nice break from how it's been pretty much up to this point. There was that branching option earlier on between the Mercury Lighthouse and the Colima Forest, which I took the off path. Don't actually entirely remember what this. I remember that you can't access it right now, but I don't remember what all is actually in there. I think it's related to the tunnels we were in before. But we can, instead of following them to Colosso right away, now that this bridge is fixed, we can actually get back to Vault and also check out Loompa a bit more too. Actually, these guys aren't worth fighting. So we've got some backtracking without requiring too much actual backtracking, since geographically we've kind of looped around. But here we are back at this town. With now that we've passed some checkpoints in the story, we can advance time here. And you see the roof at the inn was now fixed where it had a hole in there before. And most of the NPCs say different things. Like that. I don't remember, well, I know that in the Lost Age you can encounter those thieves if you transferred your data. And I'm not sure if this particular conversation is an additional trigger needed for that or not. But does kind of foreshadow the fact that they're out there again. But I should be able to get the Venus gene here now. That was over here. It'll take a little bit of work, but collecting gene are worth it. So I've done it's actually a mini dungeon, and I've actually done that entire mini dungeon with it, but forgot to actually ring that bell. So I got to the end, and the genie is still hiding in the tree, and I had to have to go back all the way through it to ring the bell and then go back. So, but yeah, remember, rings of stuff generally indicates something that you should use reveal on. That chest is a mimic. I'll get it at the end. But this teaches this mini dungeon actually teaches you a bit more about Douse, which since this is a completely optional mini dungeon, I'm not sure how important that is, but it's, I guess, reinforcing stuff. It's got some decent loot in here too, so it's definitely worth doing, even beyond for the genie. Vambrace is nice because it has attack in addition to defense, and anyone can use it. It doesn't have a lot of attack, but it's got some. It's 7-1-4-4, so Isaac can keep it and equip it himself as well. I also want to do something with the water jacket. The jerkin is a fair bit better. This is what? 6 points? 4 points? 9 points. No, that's why Mia's agility was through the roof, was the elven shirt. Oops. This one. Gotta make our own path here. Most annoying part of this is that every one of those frost casts is 5 synergy points. So they make you burn. Was it 20 PP here? This ends in 1 turn. Fireball's pretty strong, so that should, and it should target, yeah, weak point. That's not the way. That's a way back. I'm pretty sure the down is not where we want to go either, but I'm going to check real quick. Well, this is something I wanted. That drains the water out. Though I think it moves somewhere else, and I hope that doesn't create a problem later. Let's move it up here, I think. Paralysis is good. Can focus on burning him down. That didn't last very long. I think these are weak to fire. Right, I gotta use the 4th tier fire summon as well. But yeah, I think, yeah, that's got the water now, so I'm kind of locked out of that. But I think we're on the right path actually here. So those water droplets are going to put out this fire, and we need the torch to be lit when it reaches the spot here. So gotta have to pay attention to where they are. So there's the 2 here, 1 here, and then 1 here. And they drip in that pattern. When you come, you can push it for forward spaces, but if you need to move it laterally quickly, move is the way to go. Like that. And we're back here. So, okay. Now that this place has been drained, we can actually come down here. Time to summon a meteor. Meteorite from space. Sure. And that is literally what it is. It's always amusing that some of the 4th tier summons are all stuff that would basically destroy the world if they actually, had any consequences in line with what they actually did. Let's see if this actually works. I think it should, but it might bring me back to where I just came in. Nope, that did actually work. And let me take care of this mimic. I can use I actually have everything now. I can actually do Thor as well. Let's just do a whole summon rush. Why not? Let's select. There we. Oh, these guys are still recovering. 1. We're done. There we go. So this is the summon rush strategy. Basically set everything to standby and then just summon your strongest stuff on the first turn. There's Judgment. I like Judgment. That was always cool. It's a good thing you can skip these as well, because that is an obnoxiously long animation. But we're not done yet. Giant snow cone mech. Yeah, I really liked the summon animation as well, and they just got better in the sequel too. And then they look pretty good in the DS game too. That's certainly one of the things that they got right. But what are you really thinking? Okay. I think that's pretty much everything to get here. So let's swing up to Loompa real quick. Um, we can't actually solve this side quest yet, but apparently oh right, the first time I went here to check, Ivan wasn't with me and he had taken my catch bees with him. Why'd you ask if you weren't going to believe us to begin with? This is where we got stuck last time when we were first here. But now that we have Mia and the Frost gem, we can cast Frost and force this gate up. So now we're actually here. We're in. Let's see. Taking a look around. This circle of rocks is suspicious, right? We know to use reveal on circle of rocks, but what's that? There's a glowy thing over there as well. Now that's even more suspicious, so how do we get there? Gotta follow it all the way around. I was kind of doing this in reverse before, just to double check it from my memory. And we got stuck here. Except not really. Is it? That's cool. Neat to see that being reapplied. It is kind of a interesting interpretation on how to force a gate open. I can only imagine what that maneuver that I just did would have actually looked like to people who were just spectating, just like the village people. What must that have looked like? Oops, wrong shortcut. Yay, loot. Boo, smoke bomb. Yay, lucky metal. Boo, elixir. 44 coins. That's not very impressive. Now there's some good stuff. Water of life. And an antidote. So, water of life was the only thing actually worth anything there, but still is good to get. So, I believe we can rest at the inn. Maybe? Nope. That's probably why that Cynergy crystal's there. Dodompa's raking in all the wealth and ransom money, but be closed off the village, so everyone else is kind of getting strangled and starved to death. Does the item shop even sell anything? The item shop still operates as normal. I'm not sure why. Sacred feathers is kind of a convenience thing, but herbs at this point are completely outdated. I do think they start selling nuts in a few towns though, which is a good upgrade. But I don't think we can buy anything from the... Can we? Yeah, we can't buy anything from the armory or weaponsmith. One of you is much more serious about their job than the other. But you know, so that's we kind of get stuck there now, and we don't have the tools yet to get around them. This is also a missable side event. It's possible that after Calais, with the tour group leaving, the player just left and pursued after them. Vault was missable, and I'm actually going back to Vale here, and there was something, little something we can get here too, as well as additional dialogue since, hey, we're back. That's a tree, but this is interactable now that we know how to interact with it. I did enjoy this. It was neat seeing scenery that you were used to be familiar with. Now that you have new tools, you actually get to see additional sides of it. Stuff that was there all along, but you couldn't access it. And on a first playthrough, you may not have even realized that you couldn't interact with it. And the scenes, the upcoming scenes, are kind of touching as well. Let's do Garrett's family first. This is... A lot of people kind of didn't expect them to return to the village until they had completed their mission, so some people kind of expect this to be a heroic return. I think that's supposed to be a little brother. Yeah. Oh, I caught her with her eyes closed. Oh, there we go. But yeah, I think as much as the writing can be kind of flimsy in certain parts, especially the main plots, and we just went through some hand-waving stuff, and I know stuff, but I can't tell you, but these scenes, I think, are a bit more quality. Even if it's not really moving the plots, I really appreciate the atmosphere and the kind of tone that it creates, and how it's reflected of the your relationship with I should say the characters' relationships with their loved ones when they're gone, and how they feel coming back and so on. These are some of my favorite conversations in the game for that reason. Dad's worried for him. Meanwhile, Mom. Uh-oh. Mom. Are you okay over there, Grandma? It's almost like we can still hear his voice. I should have saved that until he's actually said something. Right there. Nope, not yet. Actually, so earlier, a little bit ago, I did say that I thought that the villagers kind of expected them to not come back, if they're going to come back at all, until after they were finished their journey. And maybe that was just my own impression. And I think one of the reasons these conversations were so touching to me was because it kind of revealed that that wasn't always the case for everyone. And it was nice to see parental figures in a JRPG that were alive and genuinely supportive. Especially in Garrett's case, where his entire family did survive the boulder incident. I know it wasn't the same for Jenna and Isaac, but so that's the extent there. With Jenna kidnapped and Felix in the kidnapping party, there's actually no one left of Jenna's family. So her house is empty. It hasn't even been repaired. So we kind of have this sad scene here. It has kind of, at least to me, it kind of feels like it has emotion to it, even though there's nothing directly to interact with. Aside from those two NPCs that I think still complement the atmosphere that they were trying to create there. But we're not just here for some sentimental conversations, though. This backtracking will also still pay off in a more concrete way. Doesn't this boulder look kind of familiar? To anyone who saw it last week, at least. Indeed. We can lift this boulder. And Vale has its own mini dungeon. This is the prize, and actually now that I'm staring at it, I realize that we can't actually clear this yet, so I'm backing out. I forgot about that. Basically, to explain, we're gonna chase this genie down. We're gonna come at it from behind, and he's gonna drop down here, and then we're gonna play Ring Around the Rosie here until we get tired and have to leave because we don't have the synergy yet that can stop him from just circling around away from us. But let's see, where do we get that? Trying to remember. Oh, we got Gaia now. That's neat. I'm actually blanking off the top of my head. Desperately trying to put my party to sleep. And failing. Alright, so come back later for that. Can I talk to the NPC from here? No. Be like, hey, what's on the other side of that fence? I'm on the other side of that fence. See, I think you were able to come back here from the start, but this was just it was a teaser, since you were able to visit that from the very start of the game, but you weren't able to actually reach back there. Alright, so I lied. No payoff yet. Oh, I did forget to visit Isaac's mom. I should do that. And then I can get back on track. Thought it was interesting that this was not a alarmed response. She was just kind of calmly notes that he's there. Alright, thanks for coming by and have a good night. Did we promise this though? I don't. I guess we must have. Was it the mayor or the innkeeper? Yes or no? Yes? Oh, that's all. But what do you really think? Aww. Yeah, I like that scene. Notice how the roof is still not repaired though either. Alright, that's it for Veil for now. We'll be back once we get new Psynergy. So I think it's on to the boat trip, but I think I'm actually gonna leave that for next time, mostly because I need to double check the order for a specific sequence that you can do there that actually allows you to access a late game dungeon early, and it actually has some pretty good rewards. We can at least start this though. Caragol Sea. Oh yeah, there's the landslide problem again, and a mischievous Venus Division on the other side that might have been responsible for it, but yeah. Anyway, we'll be shipping off next time. I think I'm actually going to, I might actually try to grind a little bit as well, just to make sure I'm a bit higher level in order to actually get as far as I can in the extra dungeon with the early visit. Just because it's also extra content, and I want to show that as something that a casual player might have missed the first time too, because it's not at all intuitive how to get there. But yeah, cutting it a little short tonight, but hopefully we'll tune in. Everyone will come back next week and see that section. That should be a fair bit more exciting. There's a whole bunch of stuff that goes on, and we'll get to Tolby, and let's see, I can probably do Tolby and then Tolby Cave, and then we'll see how we're doing on time from there. But yeah, all right. Thanks again, everyone, and have a good night. I'm gonna save again because I'm compulsive saver.